Don't be stupid. And get this guy. And start that. Start that.
And now, back to PTR Radio.
I made a little list of some of the things that you discuss. Bestiality, abortion, AIDS, Irishmen who drink, nuns, premature ejaculation, breastfeeding, and farts.
This is PTR Radio.
And welcome everybody to another edition of PTR Radio here on the fabulous interweb. It has been a while since we have been live. In fact, it's been a whole year. How many times are you tired of hearing about that already? Folks,
almost as much as I'm tired of hearing, see you next year.
Yep.
You're funny. I've never heard that one before.
No, first time for everything. Folks, this is a big deal for us. This is our episode where we kick off the 2019 DP. That's right. We get heavy into DP this episode. It's a year-long start of the biggest, most special DP ever.
You have been waiting all day to make this joke, haven't you? I could just imagine you were sitting at work, giggling, thinking about it.
Yeah, well, you know.
And you didn't get the reaction you were hoping for, I'm sure.
Never do. Never do get the reaction out of DP that I think I'm going to. But that's not going to stop me from trying. So, we will get to the 2019 Celebrity Death Pool reveal. You know, I had people telling me this morning, hey, I can't see my picks yet. Well, of course you can't. We're gonna make you wait until we come on the air. And I mean, the magician just doesn't do the biggest trick the first time that he, opens the curtain. No. You got to deal with some of the garbage first. We're going to pull a rabbit out of a hat, make you pick a card, maybe saw a lady in half. I mean, that's just the way that it works. So, what's the matter, Mike?
I don't know. You know what? I'm in a funk lately, man, and I'll
tell you, I know the feeling. I have zero, as the song says, my get a damn is busted. I just don't have any compulsion to do anything.
Neither do I. That is a huge problem. But life goes on. I'm learning. This is going to be the year that I think I'm going to discover what it feels like to throat punch someone. That's how this year is starting, and we're only 7 days in. Yeah,
I know. I'm right there with you. I had a. All right, Mike. I had a very interesting phone call last night. Yeah, last night. Those that are following the On the Road Again segments know that I'm reconnecting with some family that I haven't necessarily, been in touch with for a long time. I got a call from my aunt last night asking me if I had ever purchased anything from HSN or what I thought of HSN. And my mind went to the way that Mike's probably just did right now. And I'm thinking, HSN, what the hell is HSN?
I know what HSN is. Home Shopping Network.
It took me about 30 seconds to think of what the heck is HSN. And then another 30 seconds to go, am I an 80-year-old? Am I senile? Is this 1983? No. Nope. Nope, Auntie. I have never purchased anything from HSN. Nor do I know how how fraudulent they can possibly be. I couldn't tell you. And then when she mentioned easy pay options,
oh Lord,
that's what happened. Just,
I have to say, Shaggy, that I skipped over the whole 30 seconds of what is HSN and went directly to everything else that you just mentioned.
Oh. And it's for a vacuum. It's for a Dyson vacuum cleaner. Now, there's a reason why she doesn't have the internet. I get that. But if you wanted me to buy you a vacuum cleaner online, just tell me, hey, can you order me a vacuum online? Because I think that's what she was getting to, but I don't think she wanted to come out and say it.
See, I have two grandmothers.
Mm-hmm.
One grandmother probably thinks the internet is a myth that people keep mentioning and she has no idea what it is. The other one has Amazon Prime.
Yeah. Well, I've talked about Farmer Ed at work, okay, who has no cell phone. But yet, his grandmother, who's still alive, does. Farmer Ed doesn't believe in cell phones. His grandmother has one and is on Facebook more often than he is.
I work for one of the largest communications corporations in the world. And there are people I work with that still have flip phones.
Yeah. Oh, it's my father-in-law has a flip phone. And honestly, I have thought about giving him one of our old iPhones and putting it into idiot mode for him so that all he has to do is press the picture of the person he wants to call. Because I had to go over there Saturday night to put in the phone number into his contacts list because, God forbid, he remember a number. So he just uses the directory on the phone, because he has to scroll down. I mean, he scrolls down through the alphabet to get to the right person. I had to put in his lawn company's phone number.
We found a new to us Canadian sitcom over the weekend called Corner Gas, which was from the early aughts. And they're having a competition between two guys over who could get the smaller phone. They kept going back and getting even smaller phones. And I was thinking, wow, yeah, we've come a long ways. Nowadays it's, what is the biggest phone that I can fit in my pocket? That's the one I want.
I was watching a College Humor app where they were touring the museum of the 90s. And they were, it was millennials, looking at this diorama with three people in it that were supposedly, in the 90s. And there's one girl holding an iPhone goes, well, what apps does your phone have? Because the guy's got the big, he's got one of the original flip phones, size of a brick. And he goes, oh, it's great. It can make and receive phone calls. And then she goes, well, what's your camera? And then he pulls out the disposable camera. So.
You don't need to, that's every week on NCIS.
Yeah.
We did our best to try and convince one of the guys that he needed to upgrade. There's a group of about, I'm going to say a dozen of us. They get together twice a year for dinner. And, we all kind of started around the same time, but we've all gone to different companies, what have you. So it's a good way to keep in touch. And the one guy with his flip phone made him try to figure out what everybody owed.
Oh, Jesus. Did you make him text you the amount just for fun?
No, to make matters worse or more complicated. The way we do it, it's actually a brewery / restaurant that we meet at. Okay. So when we get there, the rule is you get there, you throw 20 at the bar. We drink at the bar while we're waiting for everybody. Everyone who gets there throws 20. And then we leave the tip, and that gets deducted from the bill amount before we split it.
Okay.
So basically, it was like an n minus x divided by number of people plus 20%. Because we conveniently told the waiter or waitress, hey, don't include the tip. We're going to screw with this guy. But we promise you'll get tipped extra.
Yeah.
And he literally sat there for about 20 minutes before he finally gave up, but refused to get rid of the phone.
Yeah. Of course. Of course.
Well. Anyway, and then I'm walking through, I think it was Target, and apparently they still have the jitterbug flip phones.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
With the numbers that are the size of silver dollars. The damn thing's as big as an iPhone, but it's a flip phone. I'm like, well, this kind of defeats the purpose. But
yeah.
I digress.
I saw a unique... It was kind of a flip phone. But... You know how everybody wants to go to the phones which are all screen, right? Yes. No notches, no anything. A Chinese company, of course, came out with a phone, and a couple of different companies have come out with it. You know, they're thinking that the next Samsung may have a punch, like a hole in the screen for the camera, but otherwise it's all screen front. And there was another, I don't know if it was Xiaomi or some other Chinese company came out with one where when you put it into selfie mode, a little camera pops up from the top. You know, motorized popping up thing.
Oh, that's... No good can come from that.
No, not at all, because you're just going to do that all day long. You're going to wear out the little motor that's moving it up and down. But there was a company...
It's going to be like the headlights on an 87 Firebird, where there better be a little thing that you can stick a pin in and crank it.
Yeah.
Crank it to get it up.
But this company came up with a unique idea. So they made it so that you can put your thumb on the screen and slide the screen down, and it exposes the cameras that are at the top edge. So it's kind of like, if you remember the old, I think it was a Motorola, where you had the slide on the bottom that you slide down and it exposed all the keys.
Is that the one that was in the Matrix?
It may have been.
That was a Nokia.
That was a Nokia, but there was a manual version of that same phone, which I remember I had on Nextel. Tells you how old it was. Nate and I both had it. And, but, the whole idea of I'm going to slide something down and it'll expose something else. Or even if you want to think of the same thing, think of the Sidekick. Sidekick, you push the screen up, there's a keyboard behind it. Okay?
Well, that was very similar to the Veer.
Yeah.
The HP Veer.
Yeah,
which
so
I have sitting out there, by the way.
Yeah, so, but this is neat because you just click. It's all physical, and there's nothing. Yeah. All there is a little ribbon cable that connects the LCD or the OLED panel to the back that could possibly wear out, but it's got the flex in it built for it. So kind of solves the problem.
Was curious, and Kimberly is actually curious about it. The latest BlackBerry that actually has a physical keyboard, but runs Android.
Mm-hmm.
So the whole thing with her is, how is the camera?
Yeah, I wish they would do away with selfie cameras.
All of them have good cameras now.
I mean, the rear camera is fine on every phone. I mean, there are... I actually read an article the other day that said cameras on phones have kind of hit a supposed limit. Mm-hmm. They're really good for the size that they are, but they're all pretty much the same at this point. The only difference is in the software. Some manufacturers have better software than other manufacturers at taking that image and doing post-processing for it, basically. And that's where like the Pixel phone and the iPhone tends to exceed everybody else is in the image processing. Samsung is a little bit lower than that, but they're far above everybody else. So, the only thing that's different is evidently the new series of phones is coming out with a Sony large pixel, which is supposed to let your cameras... they changed the sensor on it basically so that it acts more like a traditional DSLR to get larger pixel blocks out of the sensor that it has. So that's the little bit that I know about camera phones. I know that it takes a lot better picture than what I have, than what I ever had before. So
I'd say, because I do have a 10X, 10S. I have a 10. The notch I've found can be useful sometimes because sometimes it's the only way for me to figure out what side is up on the phone.
I just bought the wife a 10XS or XS. It's not even a 10XS. It's just the iPhone XS. Is the model number is actually it's just the iPhone XS.
Yes, that's what this is.
And so she is still getting used to not having the physical home button because she moved away from a 6S. So she's like, well, is my phone any bigger? I'm like, actually, the phone is the same physical size, but
screen is
the
a lot bigger.
Screen is the whole front. I said, so that's where your difference lies.
Yeah. At this point, when I use an older iPhone now that has the button still, it annoys me. I've gotten so used to not having the button.
Do you know why I kept this one? Because she's going to break the new one. I don't care what I do. She's going to break it. I didn't say that loud, but it's going to happen.
Oh, that's why I have Apple Care.
Well, and we've got AT&T, this whole family immersion coverage insurance thingy, pay too much per month. But, it works, so I can't complain too much. But then I bought her 5 cases, 4 of which are shipping from China, so they'll be here in December. And
when it's time to upgrade.
Yeah. Pretty much. So.
I had a nice case, but it was covering the microphone too much. So I actually ended up spending way too much for an actual Apple case. But
I have 2 cases. I have this, which is my everyday case, and I have the traveling one. Come on out. That has the built-in battery backup.
Yeah.
So I could, which was extremely useful when I was in Charlotte, because at the track there was no place to.
Yeah.
Actually.
My daughter has the battery backup case, and that's what she uses all the time. And she said people at work thought that she had an Android phone. They confused it. She has an iPhone 10, and they thought that she had an Android phone because her phone looked different. She's like, no, I just text a lot. And so I was killing my phone. So, but anyway, we digress. This isn't really phone chat.
could be phone chat.
It could be phone chat. For once, we're not talking movies, but let's talk epileptic seizures.
Next week on Linus Tech Talk.
Yeah. So let's talk epileptic seizures for a second. Mike sent us this link to a Randy Quaid Twitter post on New Year's Eve. And, Randy, last we talked about Randy was being stalked by the Star Whackers.
Correct.
And
hiding out in Canada.
After he had trashed was it a rental house or a hotel room? I can't remember.
Could be both.
Yeah. And so we're a little concerned with Randy. He seems to be off his meds yet again. I'm not going to play this video on the stream because I don't want to be responsible for hospital bills. All right. But we will post this link in our Facebook page, and you can watch it at your own discretion. But if you are annoyed by flashing lights or anything like that, do not watch this video. All right? And evidently, looking through his Twitter feed, this is how he records all of his videos. And at least It's like red and green and blue alternating flashing lights, and it's like he's in the mothership, like he didn't crash into it, but he merely landed.
Apparently he's reading Trump tweets and bullshit.
Yeah, he's reciting Trump tweets.
Yeah, I did not realize when I shared this to the show's channel, I did not realize that he basically read Trump's New Year's tweet word for word.
Mm-hmm.
And
you thought he was just being normal Randy Quaid crazy.
Yeah. So you know what this means, right?
That Donald Trump is Randy Quaid crazy?
That Randy Quaid could be our next president.
At this point, it wouldn't surprise me.
I was going to guess that Randy Quaid actually is Donald Trump, but that's...
By the look of his beard, he could be Santa Claus. But, anything is possible nowadays, Mike. You can't discount it.
He's taking Cousin Eddie to a whole new level at this point.
Yeah. No, he is super out there. Here, I will. Oh, hold on. Maybe I can play it from inside there and minimize it so that we just get the audio. Oh no, that's.
Happy New Year to everyone, including the haters and the fake news media. 2019 is going to be a fantastic year for those not suffering from Trump derangement syndrome. Just calm down and enjoy the ride. Great things are happening for our country.
Now, what's weird is I don't know whether he is doing an homage to Trump or whether he was poking fun.
As far as I could tell, reading through his history,
I mean, the
answer is, ooh.
I know he does a lot of them.
There you go. This is the next Laurel or Yanni.
Pro or con? We don't know.
This is the next. Did Elmo drop or did Grover drop the F-bomb or not?
Yeah, it's really confusing, and oh man, it causes a headache if you watch the video. I'm going to tell you right now, we are not kidding about a seizure warning. Okay, Twitter should ban him just because of that. All right, I know they only ban certain people for really being really bad, but that's one. The other bit of news that Mike shared, and I didn't really see this because we were watching a different network, but evidently NBC had just a train wreck of New Year's Eve coverage.
I did not watch this either, primarily because I'm going to be completely honest. I can't stand Chrissy Teigen.
Yeah,
she seems like she'd be cool to hang out with, but I don't understand. Other than being Mrs. John Legend, like, I don't get why
she's famous.
She's so famous. Yeah. For showing her nipples on Instagram, apparently. But I did flip through, and I saw her, like, laying on the couch and, like, got her feet up on the couch like she's ready to go to sleep kind of thing. But then this article pops up, and apparently she talked about vaginal steaming on the New Year's Eve show.
Which seems like a weird thing to mention in the middle of a celebration.
It seems like a weird thing to mention, period. Okay?
It does. It's about as normal conversation as talking about the Diva Cup.
And then the highlight, apparently, was when Leslie Jones poked her in the eye with the umbrella. So
But meanwhile,
Then I
other
flip
like
over.
CNN was like forced to give up their umbrellas, or they'd be kicked out.
I was just getting ready to say about this. So Andy Cohen went off on a rant because apparently the Times Square Alliance, who was responsible for putting together and planning the layout for everything, Andy Cohen and Anderson Cooper were doing CNN's New Year's coverage, and the Times Square Alliance told him, you can't hold the umbrella because they weren't allowing umbrellas in Times Square.
Well,
if
right.
You went there, right? And it makes sense, I guess, but
well, they didn't want any umbrella guns.
And just the fact that it could be used as a weapon.
Yeah.
Right? So the Times Square Alliance threatened to pull CNN's credentials for 2020's New Year's Eve festivities or 2020 for next year if he didn't get rid of the umbrella. And then they talked about solidarity with Telemundo because Telemundo was right down there and they had their umbrellas up, and then Anderson Cooper had to inform them, no, they relinquished them. Well, damn the man. But yet every picture I see, all the hosts have their umbrellas. So I don't know what the hell happened.
Carson Daly is not going to get wet. That's just not going to happen. But yeah, and then they supposedly they didn't even show the ball dropping.
Yes, that was the biggest faux pas of it all. NBC forgot to show the ball during the countdown.
The whole reason why people tune in.
How? Listen, somebody at NBC got fired for that one.
I mean, whoever the producer is, director, whatever.
In the control room, he's in the control room, 100 cigarettes going at the same time.
Yeah.
Or IV something. And he's just like, listen, hit the switch. Switch. Tell Larry to point the camera up. Switch.
What if he's not?
Having a freaking aneurysm.
What if he's not though? He's going, no, this is good stuff on stage. Keep it here. They've seen the ball before. Keep it here. This is new. And
listen, no, stay here. She may actually steam her vagina. Stay on her.
It's like the end of Scrooged.
My favorite was
Bill Murray.
As terrible as NBC themselves were at doing this, some of the local NBC stations were even worse because they decided to cut away from the nationwide coverage in New York to 6 guys in the hotel room at a local hotel celebrating New Year's instead of the one that's in New York. Like, I'd rather see 6 local guys in the hotel room than this big party in New York that has celebrities that I actually know who they are.
I don't know. This is one of the few years that I actually was up when it hit, both in New York and here in our local time zone. We changed up things a little bit this year. Normally we end up at my brother-in-law's until it starts to get dark, and then we come home because we have animals that go nuts when yahoos in the neighborhood decide to either shoot guns or fireworks off.
Or both.
Yeah, or both. And this year we said, forget that. Why don't my daughter and my daughter-in-law wanted to have a paint night. So the girls had paint night upstairs, and me and the boys were downstairs shooting darts and drinking beer and whiskey and everything else. Literally everything else. And, we just had a good time. We shot darts more than anything else. We played a little bit of video games because I finally fixed my arcade. And, we were playing Classic Mario. And we decided it's been way too long since we played Classic Mario. We didn't get past level 2. So it was Drunken Mario, okay?
I could take any level other than level 2. The level where you just jump over the end and then go and warp to somewhere else and then die.
Yeah, we couldn't do that. So yeah, I mean, but it was actually a really good time. So it had been a long time since we had like a New Year's party, if you will. But it was nice just having our little family together for that. And I know we're already planning on doing it again next year. So it was nice. No drama. No, this person doesn't get along with that person, so we got to keep them separated and blah, blah, blah. It was just nice and easy. So, Mike, what about you? Did you guys go out and party and hoop it up?
Hell no.
We
didn't even go out to eat. We stayed home the whole night.
Yeah.
We were in bed when the ball dropped. Kim was actually asleep and woke up like 2 minutes to go. And I had to turn 2.5 Men off and go to, I think Channel 5 we went over to. It must have been because because Ken, Dr. Chow, Mr. Chow, Leslie, Dr. Ken, what's his name? Ken Jeong.
Yeah, Dr. Ken's good enough.
He was on the one that we flipped over to.
Yeah, I think we watched basically that same one.
And him and Nicole Scherzinger were just, I don't know what they were doing, but they were entertaining in and of themselves.
Yeah.
My biggest disappointment was the fact that I found out after the fact that New Kids on the Block were on, I guess, Dick Clark's one.
Yeah.
And didn't get to see it. But a lot of people are saying they probably should have hung up their mics because they weren't all that good, but I don't know.
Well, what you did get to see, if you had watched that one, was a very strange kiss between Jenny McCarthy and Donnie Wahlberg. Oh, that was
strange. How so?
Just awkward. It was like two 12-year-olds doing it for the first time.
Oy.
That's how awkward it was. It was just weird. So, yeah.
We weren't watching. I never watch any of the coverage on TV of New Year's Eve because newsflash, all of us, go through New Year's.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't have to watch TV to transition from one year to the next. So, yeah, we didn't bother.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, normally we don't either. We just we're just like, hey, it's 11 o'clock. Let's throw this on. So, because we were all downstairs hanging out at that point anyway. The paintings were drying upstairs, and we'd all had our fill of food because we were just like, we had barbecue chicken and pigs in a blanket, and I mean, it was all just like finger food all night, and we were all stuffed at that point. Stuffed and drunk. So, at least those of us that didn't have to drive home. So yeah, but who knows? Maybe NBC will get their act together for next year. They got 365 days to figure it out. What was that?
That was my phone.
Okay.
That was my phone, which I guarantee...
important things going on.
No, I don't believe it is important. No, it's one of the hockey guys checking in on me, not knowing that I have a show, because Friday night I pulled a hamstring and left the ice early and kind of on the mend.
Oh, okay. Well, Mike, we probably should talk... we should talk about what's on your head.
Yeah, we should. And I don't know if my picture is pixelated, because apparently I'm having network issues right now, and I have no idea why.
You're looking fine to us.
Okay. It's coming back. You guys are pixelated, but...
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah, so this is one of my Christmas presents. I'll pull this over here. Pair of Aftershocks.
Oh, yeah.
Sports titanium. Okay?
I just saw a review on TechMoan of those.
Yeah. So the reason I got these is, anybody who's watched the show for a long time, you've noted that I've probably gone through more headphones than any other host, because I I struggle to find a pair of headphones that are comfortable for the entire 2 hours. Closed back headphones like what you guys are wearing doesn't really work for me. They just start to sweat. I would get headaches. They would either they wouldn't block enough sound, and then the sound would leak back into the microphone, which caused feedback to you guys, or just never found a pair that really worked. Earbuds, they worked okay, but again, had bleed. The in-ear monitors, like the noise canceling type, those were not comfortable for an entire 2-hour show.
Yeah.
And because they kind of act like earplugs, it's a very weird effect when I'm speaking back to you guys, because I don't play my voice back through my headphones at all. Because there's always just that nanosecond of delay that messes with you. So I never have I'm not listening to the line in that I'm feeding my mixer into.
Right.
Then the last attempt at comfort was I don't even know where the heck I put them.
They were in-ears.
They were Sennheiser in-ears, but had the band that went around the back, similar to these. And they were okay, but same thing. Every once in a while, they would the pressure from the band would start to bother me. So I saw a review, or I saw them, and I saw one of the NASCAR drivers that I follow, Bubba Wallace Jr. He's actually a spokesman for them. I started looking into them. I was like, okay, that's kind of cool. And these are like the cheaper model. They're wired, not Bluetooth. So let me try them. Why not? So the first thing I notice is, or if you notice, is they don't touch your ears. They sit in front of your ears, right? And they kind of have bone conduction technology. I'm familiar with bone conduction technology and how it's supposed to work. It vibrates through your cheekbones and stimulates your ears, and that's all well and good. But the one thing I have noticed is I don't think it's true bone conduction. Like when you were playing the intro, I could feel the vibration on my cheeks, and it kind of feels weird. It takes some getting used to. Let's be clear about that.
Yeah.
I saw in a lot of reviews that you're not getting the bass that you would on a regular set of headphones, and I did not expect to get that. But here's the thing. When I first put them on, and I walk past Kim while I'm playing something, she started saying lines from the song that I was listening to. I'm saying to myself, well, wait a second. How in the hell, if this is bone conduction, how in the hell, and sure enough, if I take these off, like if you were to play the intro, and I take them off of my head, and I hold them up and put them on the microphone,
right,
you're going to hear the intro.
Yeah.
So there is a little bit of, like, I'm going to take them off for a second, and I'm going to see if you can see.
All right.
You look in the back. I don't know if it's going to focus. You can see there's vents right here that are like speaker, and there's vents right there that are like speaker. So I think you are getting some actual sound like you would a traditional speaker.
Yes, you will.
Right?
I think there is some, just because in order to do the conduction, I think it has to reverberate somewhat.
It's not reverberate. It does vibrate.
Okay. So I think,
all right, but
I think you will get some bleed in.
But here's the difference, Mike.
Okay, so
if you hold those headphones up to in front of your microphone, and you play something through it, then we might hear a little bit of something. Okay. But if you were to go and grab a box, like a plastic box, and take the headphones and put it up against the box, then we would really be able to hear it, because actually it would turn that box into its chamber. And that's what tells you it really is a low conductance thing, is if you can put it up against the box and it makes it louder.
Okay, so I actually did a little different 4-year-old experiment and said, okay, let me do this. Fingers in the ears.
Mm-hmm.
They actually sound better this way.
Yeah. Did yours come with earplugs?
Yes.
Okay.
But the earplugs, that kind of defeats the purpose of not having anything in my ears. Right? But yes, they did come with earplugs. So my thought here is, like, if I'm out mowing the lawn, which is or snow blowing, which is typically when I would wear headphones to listen to music. My thought is, if I get actual comfortable earplugs, not the cheap foam ones that they give you, which, don't get me wrong, I didn't expect to get them. I don't think that's a selling point for these headphones. But if I got like actual good earplugs, soft silicone, I think this is a great compromise. I do like the fact that I can hear what's going on around me while I'm listening to something. Obviously, if you turn it all the way up, you're still going to get drowned. You're going to drown out the surrounding noise.
Yeah, like you can hear dogs barking.
Right. And actually, I was out doing some stuff in the yard, and I'm listening to them, and I could hear Tyson out there barking at something, so I was able to just kind of keep an ear, if that's a phrase, keep an ear on him.
They're really good for bicyclists, motorcyclists. If you're out traveling and you want to be playing music and you still want to be able to hear what's around you, they're really great. Is what I've read.
So from a safety perspective, now these are the ones I got. Like I said, these are the low end, so they're headphones only. They do not have a microphone. I got to unclip my extension here to show you. What do you call it? There is like a power pack in line, because obviously vibration, you need something to power.
Yep.
And that's recharged by micro USB. So, okay, great. Non-proprietary cord. Yep. I appreciate that. I'd be curious to try the Bluetooth ones now that I've had some time to use these. I guess my biggest thing, like I said, is be aware that folks around you are going to hear something. Yeah. So it's not like you can use these when you're sitting at Starbucks watching porn.
Well, I think you got a bigger issue there.
Yeah. Well, it's one of those funny things where...
Unless maybe it's audio porn, I don't know.
If you really want them to hear what you're listening to, you open your mouth. Because the sound will come out.
Okay. That's kind of interesting. So the initial thought here, these would be great. Like, I have a friend who's a dog walker. I think these would be great for someone like her, because she can listen to music. The Bluetooth ones, you could talk and take phone calls while still hearing the outside, and be aware if something's happening. Like you said, on a bike or any kind of situation like that, even passenger in a car, I think these, if your kids can tolerate them. Now, this is where it gets a little sketchy, because we're going on about 50 minutes with me wearing them straight. And the vibration, I am starting to feel a little discomfort. And I don't know if maybe, like, there's part of me that's thinking if I heat up the back here so that it gives me a little bit more flex, maybe that will solve the problem. The positioning of the wire on this ear is a little annoying as well. Now, obviously, if you have the Bluetooth version, the battery pack isn't, the headband So you may have a different issue as far as the weight.
Yeah, the Bluetooth version of the ones you have had 2 different sizes. So they had a bigger one and a smaller one. So the bigger one might work better. I don't
believe these came in a size. Actually,
the current ones come in one size, but the wireless titanium ones, they came in 2 sizes.
Okay,
if I remember correctly.
Oh,
and you know, like
upstairs.
The only reason I asked for these, well, 2 reasons I asked for these. One is I wanted to use them for the show, so a wired connection was the only way to really do that.
Yeah, they were wired connections for the show just works a lot better.
And this is like the base model. So these have small round pads to conduct. The Bluetooth ones and the higher up ones, the pads are a little larger. They look more rectangular, diamond, trapezoidal. Sound quality on them is probably a little better because you have more contact. You have more force to vibrate with.
Right.
The folks, like I said, the folks complaining that they didn't get any kind of bass response out of them. Well, one, put your fingers in your ears. You will get a little bit more bass, but you're not going to get the bass you're getting on closed back headphones.
Yeah.
Don't go in expecting that.
Yeah.
If you do, then you didn't do your research.
And honestly, the bass you get out of closed back headphones is not very good sound. You just think it is.
So, I did mention, Shaggy actually mentioned, you should reach out to them and see. I said, no, I'm going to post the review first. Let's see because I posted on Twitter and I tagged them, Aftershocks, the company that I was going to be doing a review. So, I'm going to give them a fair review. I'm not giving a final assessment right now.
No, I think you have to live with them a little bit longer, to find out, everything.
They are promising, especially if you have small ear openings like I do, ear canals, where it's impossible to find something that fits well.
Yeah.
It's different. It takes some getting used to. I really do wish that these, like the headband was adjustable. If they had some kind of slide adjustment, but I'm sure that would drive the price up a little bit. But
yeah, it definitely might. It just who knows. Though I was talking to.
We'll see. Maybe I can get them to send a couple of demo sets over for you so that you guys can give a fair assessment too. We'll see.
Yeah, and if they were just demo sets, we'd send them back when we were done taking a look at them. Whatever the arrangement would be.
Yeah, I will say I did buy a set many years ago. Unfortunately, it was a set on Kickstarter, and it's one of the Kickstarters I was on that never delivered.
Never came to fruition. You know what? I think I unknowingly did a Kickstarter today, or yesterday rather. Okay, so I've been wanting a smartwatch forever. Okay, ever since I saw you with one, and I've seen a couple other people with one. I'm like, that would be kind of handy sometimes. But I'm really picky because one, I'm cheap, and two, I definitely don't want to spend a lot on something that I may find out that I'm not going to use. Because I haven't worn a watch since, I don't know, junior high. And I don't want something that I have to recharge all the time. Okay? Because, like, Colin, you have the Apple Watch. How often do you have to recharge it?
I recharge it. I don't have mine with me today, but I charge it nightly.
Yeah,
nightly. I take it off, I charge it.
Yeah. So I haven't wanted to buy anything that was super expensive. Plus, I know they're making some changes to Android Wear, and that's a whole ecosystem in and of itself, and everything else. So I'm like, but I don't want one of those really cheap Chinese knockoff ones. That's really stupid too. Mm-hmm. So I happened across a Slashdot deal the other day, which was like $28 Okay, now it's not actually it's marketed as a fitness watch, and so it does basic things. Because really, what I want is I pull my phone out to look at what time it is, because it is basically my watch nowadays. I pull it out to change songs when I'm using Bluetooth headphones, because not all my headphones have the best track advance and reverse on them. Like, I have a set of Bluedios. I have 2 sets of Bluetooth headphones. Now, the headphones themselves are great. Great bass response and everything. Good battery life, and good volume adjusting. But the way that you track forward and track back is long presses on the volume buttons, and I hate that. I just like a dedicated forward and back button. So I'm looking for something to control next track, previous track type stuff, or shuffle or whatever. So I want that, and I just want to be able to also reject a call. Mm-hmm. Because I get so many calls, it's in my pocket, it's just garbage, I just want to send them to voicemail. Okay? So I'm not asking a lot of the smartwatch. If it happens to keep track of my pulse and all that other stuff, and great, but it's not really necessary. Okay? If it says, hey, Lardass, you haven't gotten up in 2 hours, why don't you go pee? Great, bonus, but not a necessity for what I get out of the gate. Because remember, this is just to see if I'm going to use it. I don't want to spend a lot. Right. So I happened to find this one on Slashdot, which was a deal. I think it's called Smart Pal watch. And of course, after I buy it, I can't find anything about it. Okay. I buy it because it's like, ooh, this is a $170 watch for $28. Oh, okay. Well, $28. Worst case scenario, it finds its way into a box of randomness. It's a big prize in a box of randomness, but and of course now I'm trying to find it, but I'll find it here in a second. But it's a typical round watch. I mean, there's not a whole lot fancy on it, and it basically said, hey, we can do 5 alarms, we can do call dismissal, we can do music control. It's that one right there. Which
it's the Smart Fit Pal.
Okay, Smart Fit Pal. Oops. So let's see here. Did that? Nope, that one's not it. Smart Fit Pal. I was going to try and find it to bring it up on the screen so that. So yeah, so this is what it is, but I got it in black. Come on, where's it? There it is. So, where's it at? There we go. So, here's what I got basically. Okay, I got mine in black, so it's actually this one. All right. So I mean, it's just a cheap watch. I mean, it's a non-replaceable band. It's just, like I said, it's a starter. It's just a cheap one to try. But it said it did basic things, which is all I really wanted. Like I said, I just didn't want some. This is probably a dumb Chinese knockoff, but at least it doesn't look like the old calculator watches with a 1K camera phone in it.
Okay.
So I bought this for like $29, and now I can't find a damn bit of information about it. So I'm sure it probably either was a Kickstarter or was worse than that. So
I don't think it was a. So here's questions. Speaking of smart watches, and a question for you too, Mike. I'd like you to guess.
Okay.
On my smartwatch, what is the most used feature other than time that I use on my smartwatch?
I'm gonna say reading text messages.
I'm going to say quick replies to text messages.
Those are both good things that I like to use mine for. The primary thing I use my smartwatch for is to push the button that makes my phone go bing,
Oh, so you can find your phone?
so I can find my phone.
Yeah, find my phone. That was another thing that I liked about this watch is it evidently with the companion app has this thing where if you venture further than 50 feet from your phone, it'll start to ding at you.
Yes.
Because I always start to I have a bad habit of putting my phone on my desk at work and then going to the restroom. Well, I don't have my phone on silent. I have my phone on regular ringer. Nothing's worse than somebody went to the restroom and their phone's ringing on their desk. You know, especially if they're like me and they have their ringer at a decent volume. You know, now Farmer Ed likes it because he likes to dance to my ringtone. But nobody else really appreciates it.
Now, my second most thing that I use my watch for, which yours definitely would not be able to do, is pay for stuff. No,
and I don't want to pay for stuff. I don't pay for stuff with my phone. I'm not going to pay for stuff with my watch.
It's great.
I no.
Because you don't have to. You tap the side of it. You go, oh, there's my payment. There you go.
No, I have a debit card. I'm fully capable of pulling it out of my wallet.
Pockets that I have to reach in and pull it out and unzip.
Yeah, I know. But some things in life should be difficult. Spending money is one of them. All right? If I could make it more difficult for me to spend money, I'd have more money. All right? There's times where I think I should ditch Prime membership because I wouldn't be as broke. All right?
Yeah,
Let me tell you.
There was a time. There was a time.
Mine was incredibly bad. October, November, December. Mm-hmm. Because my Discover card might as well just be an Amazon card at this point. That's all I use it for. Right?
I know.
And October, November, December, 5% back on Amazon.
Oh, no wonder I got so much cash back bonus.
To order that was like the green light. Dude, that practically paid for my processor.
Mm-hmm.
That was like the green light to just, okay, let's order shit.
No.
What do you mean it's not available on Amazon?
What do you mean I have to go to Newegg? This is bull.
I mean, Christ, I waited until October 1st. As soon as I knew it was active, I had a cart full of stuff, including my GTG 787 microphone setup.
Yep.
Sitting in my cart, just waiting. October 1st, boom.
I had 5% back at Sam's in the last quarter there. Yeah, I did the same thing. It's like, oh, I can get this much limit? Well, guess I'm buying that much.
It's just, like I said, it should be harder to spend money, and then I'd have more. It's just...
No, but I bought money.
Yeah, I know.
That's the funny thing.
You bought money.
I bought a pile of Disney gift cards. That's what I did.
Of course, to compensate for the...
Because you started your Ponzi scheme. Yeah, you had to get ahead of them and their
my old Ponzi scheme doesn't work. So instead, I bought my cards from Sam's at 5% off, plus another 5% back on my card.
Yeah,
which pays for my flights to use the cards at Disney.
By the way, how is the only company that's allowed to print money doing? Because they upped their rates 8%.
Yeah, it's that time of year. They do it every year.
Yeah, I know. But people are losing their damn minds over it right now.
Every single time they lose their minds. Like it never has happened except every year. Like clockwork, the prices go up, and then like a week later, Universal rises their prices the same way. It's at this time of year.
All right, so I don't know why it's taking so long to come up through the messenger, but Mama Blair did say she uses a Fitbit. Yep. I hit send about 5 minutes ago, and it still hasn't come through to the screen. That's just further proof that my network connection is being a fugazi right now.
Yep. All right.
I tried to do it. I did a speed test from my phone, and I'm like, I'm literally like 1/10 of what I should be.
That being said, I had to correct her. She does not use a Fitbit. She has a Samsung.
Okay. Sorry, Mama Blair. That's your son.
She has the Samsung version of the Fitbit, not the Samsung that looks like a gigantic watch.
Interesting. Actually, it looks like there may be a problem with that. So,
okay.
Yeah, that's
but we'll just have to read them out. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but that's not the end of the world. We don't get a ton of them. So,
but it is 7:00, so maybe we should.
Is there a 7:00 thing?
We should talk about.
Oh, first we need to talk
about the death pool.
Well, should we talk about the death of yet another network first, and how we will survive?
Well, it kind of goes hand in hand.
I
mean,
I actually thought they had died a while ago.
Yeah, I mean,
I didn't.
Not one to pounce on their grave or anything, but I'm kind of with you. I thought that they had been gone for a while. If those of you that have been listening to us for a while remember when we used to be on Rant Radio, and this on New Year's Day, I think it is, they posted that they are no more. They were shutting down. And
the best reason for a shutdown I've ever seen, though,
is that they wanted to pull the plug themselves.
No, it's like they've been up for 20 years. No one's listening to it anymore. The guy who owns the station doesn't even is not even on the station. Like,
it hasn't stopped one station we know. So, but
that's round number. 20 years. Shut it down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, okay. I couldn't remember how long it's been since we broadcast on there. I went and searched their blog, like their announcement page. There's no announcement of us joining the network, so I don't know. I know we were on Rant Radio for a while, but I don't.
Yeah, I don't remember.
The closest I found was a forum post from Addie talking about how Addie and Gabe was such a great show, folks should listen, which ironically was his only post on that show. Are they still around?
No. I mean, they are still alive, yes, but they are no longer a show. So they split up over a year ago.
I tuned in. I just happened to tune in to.
And that's because one of them moved. It's not because of creative differences or anything, but Addie moved.
Okay.
I actually still talk to Gabe every once in a while.
Well, Gabe was the cool one.
Yeah, Gabe got engaged, and so, yeah, he's awesome.
I was actually watching a video of Dune and Bob, which now is Dune and Gators.
Yep, but still under the Dune and Bob name.
And Dune's on a Mac, and they were showing I guess a dating video that the Gimp did, and I was like, "Yep, I'm out."
Yep.
I gotta see.
I talk to Dune every once in a while. I helped him pick out his new mixer. So yeah, but I mean, again, it just shows, guys, we do all of our own stuff. We host the website, which is, and we design it. We run our own show. We stopped doing our own audio only stream because just nobody was listening. So that's why we've kind of standardized on YouTube and Facebook. We host our own podcast feed now, thanks to Libsyn, and we've decided that we don't want to rely on anyone else for our product because everyone else that we worked with went under for one reason or another. It wasn't always a bad reason. Sometimes, like Rant Radio, it was just time for them to go. And I mean, sometimes we had good collaborations with folks, and sometimes we didn't. But you look at things and how many networks we've been through. We were all collectively through NHB. We went through Clutch and Wiggle. We went through Rant Radio. We've outlasted several other platforms. I don't even know if YouNow is still around. and we were on there for a while. We were on Stickcam for a while. I mean, we've been on a lot of different things. So
all we do around you now is, for some reason, we got gold from somebody, and we had no idea what to do with that gold once we had it.
We were gold. We had gold fever though for a while. So.
Oh, you now is still around.
It's probably still full of 13-year-old girls who want to see people sleep.
I think we did Ustream for a while.
We did Ustream for a while. But it looks like right now the only thing that we could potentially add at some point is maybe Twitch. Because Twitch seems to be where people are going. What's crazy is 3 times the amount of people tuned in for a Twitch game coverage. I don't know if it was an Unreal tournament or what it was. I have no idea what games people are playing now. 3 times the number of people tuned in to watch that than watch the Super Bowl last year. So that tells you something about the power of that particular platform. Now, our show isn't necessarily game-oriented. I suppose we could have Colin playing some type of shooter game in the mysterious 4th panel that we have. All right? And then, we Mike and I could be color commentators for Colin's gameplay. Because Colin is the most likely of us to play video games, I think.
It's funny. I was actually thinking about this the other day. You know what we should do?
What?
Because this seems to be all the rage on YouTube now. In that 4th panel, we should put up some kind of video and we react to it live. Because it seems like reaction videos are all...
Oh, my goodness. I tell you what, I started watching a guy named Modern Renaissance Man. And he's actually a really cool black guy, and I only bring up his race because it's germane to what I'm going to say. He is actually Jamaican, but grew up here in the States. Okay? So...
Okay.
But he's got an interesting channel. There's a mix of like relationship advice, a little bit of gospel advice, reflection, and then reaction videos. The reaction videos are probably his biggest portion, but they're reaction videos because when he grew up, he was mostly listening to rap and gospel music, from what I understand. And so now he's decided that he actually wants to be a Renaissance man and know more genres of music. Okay? He's open to it being exposed to all kinds of music. And so it is interesting to watch. One of the best ones of his was he watched...
if you say The Sound of Silence, I'm going to be very upset.
I don't know if he listened to that one or not, but I know that it was... He listened to Stevie Ray Vaughan watched a cover of the Watchtower. And he said Stevie Ray Van because he didn't know Vaughn, how to pronounce Vaughn correctly. And he was just blown away by Stevie Ray Vaughan. I mean, he was going nuts. And he was saying, I don't know why all these white people are just sitting back in their chairs. I mean, nobody's standing up. Nobody's making a big, nobody's waving their hands. Nobody's hollering. Nobody's screaming. And he's like, if this was a crowd full of black people, they'd be going nuts by now. I mean, and he's kind of jumping around a little bit, and you could tell he's really into it, and he's really impressed. And then he watched a Steve Vai video, and I mean, he watched he watched another one with Nickelback. And he's like, everybody told me that Nickelback sucked and Nickelback was horrible, but I don't understand what the hate is for Nickelback. Their songs are really good. And I'm kind of of the same opinion. I don't understand the hate for Nickelback. The guy goes, the guy actually says, he goes, did one of the members of Nickelback like molest a child or something that I don't know about? Because I don't understand what all the hate's for. And so, it's just interesting for me to see this guy who knows nothing, react.
That sounds like that black guy from St. Louis a couple years ago who blew up huge on Twitter watching hockey for the first time.
Yeah.
My favorite thing is so I watched vocal coaches critiquing the Conan performance of Disturbed's cover of The Sound of Silence, and I'm like, okay, that's some balls right there.
Yeah.
But I like to watch the reactions to like Walking Dead when there's a big death or something like that, or a big or Game of Thrones. You watch the reactions like that. People reacting to music for the first time, yeah, not so much.
Like I said, this guy is... it's interesting. I just recently started watching him, and I have watched like the kids react to videos and the elderly react to videos, and those are kind of interesting, you know. But I know what we could do, Mike. We could do PTR reacts to the double feature. If we ever got our stuff together and we were all on the same schedule, which I'm not saying is ever going to happen, you know, but what we could do is we could take the segment of the show where we play the trailers for the next week's upcoming movies. And we could put those in the fourth panel. Not this week, but for next week maybe. We could play those in the fourth panel, and it could be PTR reacts to trailers for crappy movies.
Movies that are too long.
Yes. So, you know.
Okay.
If you want a reaction.
Okay.
What?
All right, so let's talk about the death pool.
All right, and
now
it's now live.
We should say that there's been a lot of deaths in the last couple weeks, and we have not kept up. Like, W. Morgan Shepherd died yesterday.
Who?
William Morgan Shepherd.
Okay.
He was in lots of stuff. He was on Doctor Who and Star Trek. His son is Mark Shepherd, who is a bad guy who shows up in everything from Leverage to just about anything else that's genre.
Okay.
Well, there's a NASCAR driver named Morgan Shepherd who's like 89 years old and still races. I was like, that's why I didn't hear the first part, and I was like, who? What?
No, W. Morgan Shepherd or William Morgan Shepherd, depending on.
Yeah, so, you know, now that 2018 is officially over, we can name our 2018 winner, Mike. And we can actually say that we did have a unregistered death that we caught just after the bell rang.
Yes. I got to open 2018 tracker. So the last death was Doug Ellis, which was we didn't catch the first time around, but going through to make sure everything was square. Points were adjusted accordingly, including the bonus points. And the final standings, with the highest score in history of the PTR death pool, 169.06. Congratulations to the Glacier.
Yes.
Not only broke the record with the highest score, but also broke the record by getting 4 out of 5 picks.
Yeah, which had never happened before. We had 3 before, but we had never had 4.
Second place was Jenny Shee, 70, at 126.68. Third place was You Think So, 17, 118.85. And then number 4 was yours truly, Mike the 8 Man, taking the host victory with 106.43, barely beating out Red Rhino, who had 105.45 for the top 5. Shaggy, you finished in 14th place with 67.44, just 0.32 points behind Kendall Mack. Colin, you finished in 12th, 68.43, and I'm afraid you don't even get bragging rights within your own family because Mama Blair finished at 74.91.
So we will be getting our portion because I believe that the with the Glacier is closer to you, Mike. So we will be
the Glacier. Yes, the Glacier happens to be one of the guys I play hockey with on Friday nights.
Yeah, so we will be putting our package portion together and sending that off to you here shortly. We will do a much better job than we have in years past. And we will include some ski paraphernalia in our prize package this year. And, we will have that all shipped off to you. And hopefully the Glacier will enjoy his Box O Randomness prize pack.
He's already looking forward to it.
All right.
He is a little scared, but he's looking forward to it.
Well, find out if he prefers diet or regular.
He's getting regular.
Okay. Okay. Good deal.
I have cherry to spare. He's getting regular.
Okay. All right. So that lets us...
Let's talk 2019.
That lets us get into 2019. And the 2019 pool, I erroneously said we had already met our goal of matching last year's entry count. I underestimated our 2018 participation. I thought that we had 50. Mike corrected me in private and said, hey, nope, we had 60. And so I said, hey, we reached the finish line before we really did. And so, but we did have a good day. We did have a good day on Sunday. Not a great day, but we had a good day. And we got close. We got close to meeting our 2018 enrollment. Now, Mike, if I'm correct, we did not match it, though.
No, we did not. I think we fell about 8 short.
Yeah. So that doesn't mean anything bad. It just means that for 2020, we have to have everyone step up their game. So let me just start off by saying the scoring issue. There is a scoring issue already. Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to need your ruling on this, boys, because
okay.
The rules state that the referral points are for any new participant that you bring in.
Yeah, I had noticed that.
However,
in the sheet.
Shaggy posted something that said that did not clarify that referral points were for new players that you bring in.
Yeah.
So, as of right now, only 2 people got referral points. Boy Steven, a.k.a. Colin's biggest fan.
Yep.
And Dingle.
Yep.
Because they brought in players who have never played before.
Mm-hmm.
There was a trend of people putting their own email address in for referral, and no, you do not get a point for referring yourself.
Even if you're first time.
I didn't even notice that.
Out of 56 entries, I would venture to say 30 plus put their own email address in as the referral email address.
All right. How many of them put in Colin?
Nobody.
Oh, wow. Okay.
However, Papa Blair put in Mama Blair, but Papa Blair played last year.
Yeah. So I think, you know what? I think for this year, it is my bad. I think we should go ahead and just let the referral points stand, that if they had someone re-up, that we would let them get the point for that, as long as they put the name in there or the email address in there that got them to re-sign back up.
I know that themselves.
I do not want to discourage folks from nagging previous year participants to get involved. So
previous year participants should get involved on their own accord.
Well, they should,
okay?
But sometimes it takes berating. You know that.
Yeah, well.
So I think we will.
All right,
I think we'll allow those, which is why I didn't put the points in yet.
Okay, so I'm gonna have to go back in and correct the referral points, the bonus points here.
Right. So
let's talk about our picks.
Well, let's talk about a few other things that got thrown into the mix during submissions there, Mike. So we had a submission that fell into the category of if you submit a person and they die before the year starts, you have room for a replacement. We actually had that happen this year.
Yes, we did. Carr, I'm not sure how it's pronounced, picked Richard Overton, who was the oldest living veteran.
Yes.
and he passed away on December 28th.
Yep.
Reached out to the email address provided. No response. So, Carr, you're rolling with 4 picks.
Yeah, we did also have an email address that we could not get a hold of for a pick that was already dead.
Well, no, actually.
Oh, it was a double submission, wasn't it?
It was a double submission. It was the same email address used for 2 submissions.
Mm-hmm.
And when I replied back to clarify, I got a bounce back saying that email address doesn't exist. So we left the first one in there because, to be quite honest with you, the picks are. If this happens, well, so be it. I'm pretty sure that their picks are based off of Walking Dead somehow. I don't know. But I don't believe it's going to be of any consequence. And if that happens, like we've said, if you are the winner and we can't get in touch with you to send you the box of randomness, then it goes on to either it's going to go on to number 2 or
it rolls over to the next year.
We're going to just roll it to the next one, and that box is going to be huge.
Yeah. Huge. It's going to be the biggest, bestest box ever.
So we also had a typo where someone, Mama Blair, was watching TV when she put in her picks, and she meant to put Vera Lynn, but she put Vera Ellen.
She was probably
she was probably watching Ellen.
She was probably watching Ellen.
She was entranced by Ellen's little dance as a problem.
So
I mean, she's intoxicating.
So technically, those were the 2 picks that we had that were new for this year that were never picked before.
No, what does your mom got against Ellen? I mean, really?
So going back to what he started to say earlier, I do find it interesting that the total possible points among us 3 hosts are basically the same.
Yeah, they're within 5 points of each other.
Yeah, so now we'll go through and we'll talk about who our picks were.
Why?
Colin, we'll let you kick off.
Okay. So
honestly, I would say let Colin go last because I know there's a theme to his. There's always a theme to Colin.
Yeah, there is a theme to Colin's.
There's not so much a theme this time. There's a bit of a theme.
Okay.
All right, then go.
Okay.
It's up to you, Colin. If you want.
So my mom said, "Oh man, I meant to put Bob Dole and Billy Connolly on mine, but I forgot." So I said, "Okay, I'll put them on mine instead."
Okay.
So that's why Bob Dole and Billy Connolly. Because actually, when I looked at it, I was like, "Oh, okay." People think Billy Connolly is going to die, which after I decided to put it on the mix, it turned out maybe not to be the case. But
well, he actually said he's ready to die.
Yeah, but he said I think yesterday. I didn't really mean that. Bob Dole just looks terrible. So.
That's Bob Dole.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Bob Dole.
So Elvis Costello has cancer.
Mm-hmm.
And then, Dick Cheney's going to die any day from his, he was only supposed to last 10 years on his heart replacement anyway. And then I figured, As long as I have Dick Cheney on there to die, I better put Christian Bale on instead. Because hey, Christian Bale is just really destroying his body with this whole bulk up to be fat and then plummet back down and then bulk back up and then plummet back down.
He's a method actor, damn it.
So, but hey, what would be better than Christian Bale and Dick Cheney dying in both in the same year? So that's my picks.
All right. And definitely there's no question that any of those are celebrities. They're definitely all celebrities. All right, Mike, you're up.
Okay. So I always try and find some obscure pick that potentially could be, get me that extra bonus point for being a unique pick. I carried James Harris over, a.k.a. Kamala, from last year. And there's no way for this to not sound racist, but I really don't mean it that way. He's already lost both of his legs to diabetes, and he's African American, which typically means he's going to die. So I rolled him over from last year. Then I said, let me go and find the oldest living NASCAR champion. Which I did. A gentleman by the name of Rex White.
Who was not easy to find, by the way.
Then I actually changed one of my picks after I submitted through the website. But before I started compiling the sheet, so I didn't know anybody picked. I threw June Lockhart on there for no other reason than she old.
Yep.
Then comes the next two that I thought were going to be. They were going to be my Jimmy Snukas. Okay, they were going to be my terminally ill, obscure celebrity that no one else is going to pick. The first one was Linda Nolan of the Nolan sisters. And the first freaking dump that I got from the website entries, You Think So 17 went ahead and picked Linda Nolan. Like, you son of a... Then I thought I was... Let me see something here. I gotta do a quick search. So my next one got about halfway through, right around when I got Beck's submissions. And then my favorite... We're going to talk about this person, too. Red Rhino. Bastard. Beth Chapman. Dog the Bounty Hunter's wife.
Yep.
I thought this was going to be another one. People aren't watching her. She ain't on nobody's radar. And Jamie and Red Rhino went ahead and picked Beth Chapman. So those are my 5 picks.
Yep. So I waited until the last minute. I was doing my research last night, and it was not the easiest to get done. And honestly, I was looking for somebody else, but it was... Do you know how hard it is to query porn stars who are going to die? Because
technically all of them.
For the record, Mama Blair said she was watching White Christmas when she made the typo error.
Yeah. Ellen's not in White Christmas.
Anyway.
All right. So I had... so my picks. Liza Minnelli. She's just crazy. All right. She's insane, and she's going downhill fast. Just watch any interview with her recently. All right. Next up, Larry Flint. All right. I thought that was as close to a porn star as I could get. But then I discovered Mamie Van Doren. the counterpart to dang it, Norma Jean. Yes, you know who I'm talking about. Yeah, that one. During the 50s era. So, and then Skittleface himself, Tekashi 6ix9ine. He's in a lot of what, Mike? You don't like the term Skittleface?
No, what I was gonna say was, let me see something. Tekashi 6ix9ine actually, for a first-time appearance, is one of the top 12 picks this year. Actually tied for 5th.
Yeah. And he's only 22. This is not the gone before their time requirement. Which
another one also tied for 5th is Demi Lovato.
Yeah. So, all right. Let me just put it this way. I do not like people who decide to decorate their face like a desk in grade school. All right.
By the way, Tekashi 6ix9ine is also the youngest pick this year, which is a big reason why your points are so close to Colin and mine.
Yeah, because everybody else
he makes up almost a third of your points.
Yeah. And then I had to go with Prince Philip. Prince Philip has been on a lot of people's lists for a long time. In fact, he's number 2 on Ranker's list. So, you know, that's why I went with him. And
all right, so let's talk about.
By the way, Mimi Van Dorn was known for being one of the first actresses to recreate the look of Marilyn Monroe.
I gotta say, I like that picture better, by the way.
You like the one with huge amounts of cleavage better?
It's the face.
Okay.
I mean, right, the other one's a much better looking picture.
Yeah.
But that picture just says, this is why I bought this list.
Let me vent about Red Rhino real quick here.
Okay. By the way, Vera Ellen was the skeletal skinny sister along with Rosemary Clooney in White Christmas, evidently. She danced with Danny Kaye. Oh, I remember Danny Kaye. He was referenced in a great speech by Chevy Chase. Yes, Red Rhino.
I cursed this person. Not first for picking Beth Chapman, but the damage was already done because Jamie's entry came in first. So
yep,
my unique pick was fine.
Oh, I know why you. Okay, I know why you cursed him. It makes life difficult.
Stefan Lewis and Fernando Rickson.
It's
two politicians that are very obscure.
It's
with terminal diseases.
It's like he took a page out of somebody's book.
But then Melissa Conson Young. Melissa Conson Young. Let's let that sink in for a second, folks. The former Miss Wisconsin, I think.
Yep.
Competed in the Miss USA pageant.
Mm-hmm.
As terminal vaginosis or whatever the hell she's got. Huge Trump supporter. Suddenly she's in the news for being a huge Trump supporter. And she's dying.
Mm-hmm.
All best I could find as far as her birthday, she's born sometime in 1980.
Yeah.
Her birth date is not out there anywhere.
She doesn't have a Wikipedia page.
Yeah, I think we should just add that to the rules next year.
It must have a Wikipedia page. Well, here's the thing, Mike. So you had difficulty. Now, can we confirm she was born in 1980 sometime?
No.
No, we don't have
because
her age and years?
No. The only website I found is circa 1980 was her birthday.
We don't know how many years old she is. Boy.
No. So I posed a question to you guys. I said, is her being a former Miss Wisconsin enough to claim she's a celebrity? And you guys said yes. I said, all right, fucking assholes. Fine. So I posed the question back to Red Rhino.
Is this the same one that won Miss Congeniality?
Yes.
Because there's a Melissa Ann Young who won it in 2005.
Okay. She's also known as, why? You have her birth date?
I'm just looking it up. Because that was in 2005. I'm just trying to find a definitive year.
No, a year. No. Here's the problem. We calculate our points down to the day.
I know. So if we had the year, we could at least say December 31st. He would get the minimum number of points.
No. You can't make that decision now because the pool is closed. The decision was,
okay,
reach out to Red Rhino.
Yes.
Which I did.
Yes.
And say, you need to give us a verifiable source with the birth date or a replacement pay.
Yes. Oh, there he goes. We were wondering when that was going to happen. Okay. And there he should be back any second.
I can hear you guys.
Okay.
Why am I still frozen? I don't know.
I don't know. That's a great picture of you, though. That's really.
You guys are moving. You guys are moving.
Yeah, you're not yet. That's.
Let's try this again.
All right, hold on. All right, so.
All right, one more time.
All right, we'll see if it unfreezes the input.
Still frozen.
All right, hold on one second. I can fix that. Hold on. Okay, go ahead and continue your rant.
Okay, so continuing my rant. The way the formula calculates the points, for some reason, she is coming in at 7.98 points.
So that must be our minimum points.
Well, I think it has to do with because the formula subtracts, it creates a numeric value for the birthday, or the birth date, and subtracts it from today, the numeric value for today's date. But anyway, so I said, you know what? You're going to roll with 8 points because possibly 18 points if somehow she's the first strike, but that's pretty much inconsequential. So there you go. Those are the points you're rolling with. And I think that's going to be the new rule. That if you can't verify the birth date, you get, but we can verify celebrity, you get minimum points.
And that's the bare minimum celebrity.
Yeah, they're
competed in was it Miss Wisconsin?
She was Miss Wisconsin and competed in the Miss USA pageant.
Right.
She won Miss Congeniality at the Miss USA pageant.
Right. So what I'm saying is
about as
she won something at the pageant. If you bring in someone who was like Miss Milwaukee and competed in Miss Wisconsin, no. Give us at least one something at Miss America level. Like Miss Congeniality. Yeah. Okay. There was a movie about that once. We'll go with it.
I agree. Somehow, I don't think I'm coming back. Oh, wait. There I am.
There he is.
Somehow.
All right. You are...
Do I dare ask?
Duct tape and baling wire, my friend. Duct tape and baling wire.
So
let's talk about some various stats real quick before we go to the movie reviews, because the movie reviews are going to be extremely. So, I already told you Tekashi 6ix9ine was the youngest pick this year. The oldest pick, Roberta McCain.
Yeah, which she is impossible to find a picture for. I found the one picture that everyone has for her, which is she is leaning up against a camera truck at an event that John McCain was at. So, yeah.
This year was one of the highest average points per pick, 55.9, which is the curve is confused by Tekashi 6ix9ine.
Oh yeah.
And Justin Bieber and Demi Lovato. There were a lot of younger picks this year.
Bam Margera wasn't 39. I guess that's not terribly young, but you know.
I'm going back through all the years.
But how many? Well, I'm looking at the younger folks.
Yeah,
right.
I'm looking at younger folks that were picked multiple times that would throw the curve down. I mean, Kim Kardashian was picked twice. Lindsay Lohan was picked twice. Pete Davidson was picked twice, and he's only 21, 22.
And I don't.
So,
I have a problem with that pick.
Oh, because of the suicide.
Yeah, as I said before, I don't. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't pick people for suicide, please. I mean,
but wait a second. But we did put it in the rules.
Yeah.
That if it's ruled a suicide, you get no points.
Right. So don't pick someone who just might be dying for suicide.
Right.
Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Average time.
Was she?
Oh yeah, somebody picked her last year.
Yeah. Gosh,
but
let's hope
we
not.
had 5 picks this year.
See, I was going back and saying going back as far as our records here go, only one number 1 rank has actually died.
I was really
and that was George H.W. Bush.
Right.
I was really surprised that John Aston hadn't been picked before. Gomez Adams. I was going through filling in pictures that we didn't have, and Mike, I think you said there was like 84. I know there was more than. I think we were probably closer to 90 by the time we got host picks in there.
No, actually, the number of new picks actually turned out to only be 70 because the number I was giving you was not calculating properly.
Oh, okay. So, but I mean, still, that's a large amount of new old blood into the system.
Well, here's the unique part about this. Of all the entries, we have 8 contestants that have 5 unique picks.
Yeah.
Nice. Good job.
We have 9 contestants that have no unique picks.
Yeah, somebody picked, yeah.
Which last year, we had 14 contestants that had no unique picks.
Yeah. And just think if this had been bigger. You know, if we had even more people involved.
This shows how creative our listeners were. Almost 75.6% of the picks were unique picks.
Yeah.
So, kudos on folks thinking outside the box, thinking, hey, I'm going to get that extra point for having a unique pick that somebody might not think of. Damn you all for ruining my 2 unique ones, but that's okay.
Yeah.
And making it harder for us to track when somebody, how many people we have to keep track of.
Yeah, I actually am working on a way, Mike. I don't know if I know that you are keeping this in multiple Excel sheets because it just takes so much to pull it off. I don't know if those could be turned into a Google sheet or not because of the complex formulas.
The master tracker can.
Mm-hmm.
The score sheet cannot.
Okay.
Because the score sheet has several macros that Google will not run.
Ah, okay.
But the master tracker itself, which as of right now has a total of 559 records for celebrity birth dates that were have been picked throughout the course of 5 years. That that master file could.
Because one thing that people that have been following the feed know, not necessarily that this has been on everything, but people that have been following the feed know, is that our website is going to have a rebrand done on it. And one of the things we are going to do is we are going to bring the top 3 for the current year's death poll to the front page. So if you are in the top 3 spots in the death pool, you will be featured on the front page. Oh
my God, it's like MySpace.
Yeah.
Top 8 spaces. Holy crap.
So we're gonna make the front page much more informative and much more dynamic, and as well as right now, one of the things that we're going to be adding to the front page, and we're also going to be adding a way for you to get involved in this, the double feature movie review. The new site is going to feature the double feature movie review. It's going to be a Rotten Tomatoes type thing where not only will you see our ratings, we'll be the critics, but then there'll be a place for your audience scores. And you guys can rate and review the movies too. The 2 movies we have for tonight are Special Correspondents and Mythica, A Quest for Heroes. So, you guys care if we do Special Correspondents first?
Yeah, fine.
Because that's the order that I watched them. I don't know what order you guys watched them in.
I did it the other way around.
Okay. I did write mine out again, but there's not a whole lot here. The movie Special Correspondents revolves around the opposite lives of radio reporter Frank, played by Eric Bana, famous for playing Bruce Banner in The Hulk, and Finch, played by Ricky Gervais, famous for being a hilarious British comedian and actor from Everything. Frank is a smooth-talking, quick-witted, do-whatever-it-takes radio reporter, not afraid to bend or break the rules to be the first with the story, and in some cases fill in missing gaps with creative editing. Finch is the brains behind numerous broadcasts and obviously a very talented operator, but never gets to go out on the scene. The radio station employing them both decided to give Frank one final chance after he's busted impersonating an officer yet again. This time, he and Finch are sent to South America to cover a rebel uprising. However, things go sideways when Finch throws away their passports, airplane tickets, and money rather than the makeup letter to his wife. A wife whom just a few scenes ago cheated on him with none other than Frank. So now, with no tickets, no money, and no passports, Frank and Finch hatch a plan to save their careers. They take refuge in a loft space bedroom of Finch's favorite sandwich shop and begin a wag-the-dog-style impersonation of being in South American Civil War. All of which is going well until the U.S. Embassy gets involved and demands that they return to the embassy, which is a little hard to do since they never left the States. Now forced with jail and certain discrediting, the two are to sneak into South America in an attempt to go to the embassy that is requesting them. I won't tell you what else goes on, but I will say that while Bana and Gervais did the most with their dialogue, the overall movie seemed forced and unoriginal. For this reason, while it kept my attention, if only just barely, I'm judging this movie with a very strong meh rating.
Okay. I think I liked it marginally better than you. I think part of the reason is because this movie could not have had... I could not have been less interested in watching this movie. Because it has Ricky Gervais in it. And so, so this movie, Special Correspondents. In this movie, you have Eric Bana playing Ricky Gervais, and Ricky Gervais playing not Ricky Gervais. Which, to me, I was watching this going, so Ricky Gervais wrote this. He has another guy basically playing Ricky Gervais so that he can try to convince the audience that Ricky Gervais isn't that bad a guy. And I came out of this movie unconvinced that Ricky Gervais isn't that bad of a guy. Ricky Gervais is pretty much Ricky Gervais. But I wouldn't say laugh, guffawed, maybe. It got a couple chuckles many times throughout the movie. And like I say many times in these reviews that we do, I think there might have been an okay movie in here if it wasn't an hour and 41 minutes long. If it was, say, an hour 21 minutes long, it actually would be closer to being an okay movie. Here's the problem. There were many scenes in this movie that are like, in other movies, you'd come in and you have a montage. You know, it's the time for the montage part. You got a song playing and things happen. This one, they decided not to have a montage. They actually just show every single one of the scenes, step by step, throughout the entire thing. And you know what's going to happen, and there's nothing interesting happening, and it's all happening near the end of the movie. So, Ricky Gervais and not Ricky Gervais decided that they really do have to go to the country they were supposed to be at so they could go to the U.S. Embassy and then get back to where they started. And of course, as everybody knows, they get captured and held for ransom for real. The problem is that you have to watch it step by step of them meeting a guy who drives them to a bar, watching them sit in the bar for half an hour. And then, we've just been captured, and now we're being held ransom. Yeah, that could have been like a 15-second long little quick montage of them meeting a guy, being in a bar, and then suddenly being in a cage, jail. Not jail cell, 'cause it wasn't jail, but. Now, my favorite part is that the not Ricky Gervais character then has to take cocaine so that the not Ricky Gervais character can become a little more Ricky Gervais and then shoot people. Because the Ricky Gervais character can't shoot people. I found that entire little sequence there kind of interesting. But I want to give this, I think, Chuckle? Yeah, I want to give it Chuckle.
Chuckle, okay. Chuckle. All right.
Chuckle. Wow. All right then. That's higher than I thought it was going to be because
I'll have to double check what Chuckle actually means.
Chuckle's a step above smirk.
All right.
That's okay. Yeah.
Wow. Let me be perfectly clear. Even though Ricky Gervais is all about saving animals, I think he's a pompous ass and I can't stand him.
Yeah.
It's going to be sad that if the pivot point of this movie is Eric Bana hooking up with Gervais' wife. Yeah, okay. Bana called Gervais a stupid, quote unquote, a stupid, worthless, incompetent POS for throwing away the passports. And while I agree with that, both in this movie and in real life, who's the real idiot for giving him such the important job of holding on to the passports and the tickets in the first place, knowing his state of mind? Two, the idea here is they're going to fake being in Ecuador. Spoiler alert. Trust me, you don't want to watch this. Because they lost their plane tickets. Station bought them. So isn't the station going to figure out that the tickets never got used? I'm just kind of throwing that out there. Just a thought. Mm-hmm. I can't figure out how in the hell these guys are fooling anyone with this whole spiel. About halfway through the movie, Bana figures out who she is, and he's looking for the gas pipe. Incidentally, so was I. Her husband has supposedly been kidnapped, and she writes a song. This gold-digging, fame-seeking, skanky, cheating bitch. I hate her. I hate her. In what world is Ricky friggin' Gervais, the badass with the guns, shooting up the joint like Wyatt freaking Earp? This is about as believable as Kevin James as an international spy. Oh, written and directed by Ricky Gervais. Now it all makes sense. Was going to give this a meh. Maybe even a smirk. Until I saw that credit that it was written and directed by Gervais. Only thing stopping this movie from getting a puke from me right now is the fact that Gervais didn't write some kind of sex scene in for himself as a gratuitous move. This is getting a verb. This is Banner's biggest piece of malarkey since Hulk.
Oh.
Yeah, like I said, I think I came into the movie expecting puke from the very beginning, which is why when I actually found myself chuckling many times throughout the movie, I felt I just had to give it a higher rating.
The only part of this movie that I liked was America Ferrera and her idiot brother or cousin or whatever running the cafe. That's about the only thing I liked about this movie, to be completely honest with you.
By the way, before we started, we had a question about who was the oldest pick. They were 103. Or how old is the oldest pick? 103. All right. Next up, Mythica, A Quest for Heroes. This is the first in a series, by the way.
And a reminder before we review this one, I at least review on a curve.
Okay. All right. I watched Special Correspondents first during this week's double feature, and this is a case where the order set me up for failure. After the unseasoned steamed cauliflower bland flavor of that movie, I was looking forward to a lower budget Lord of the Rings or Seeker movie. One of these days, I'm going to learn to never set expectations for a movie just based on the fact that it has a lot of sequels. So let's start with the list of things I looked forward to with this movie. Decent special effects and costumes. It is, after all, an adventure tale. A lot of fight scenes with plenty of action. It is an adventure tale. Dragons. I wanted dragons. Now, granted, this was a bit optimistic, but it's an adventure tale. And finally, Kevin frickin' Sorbo. And more than just 2 minutes on screen. I feel heavily cheated in this one. He's on the box. I got none of these things. None of them that I were looking forward to. Now, maybe in the additional 6 sequels, they address some of these things. But since the first one was so horrible in giving me what they promised, I'm not sure I will watch any of them. You see, that's the problem with these saga-type movies. You have to hit it out of the park the first time in order to hook me for the rest of the franchise, or you've lost me. Even with Sharknado. Sharknado was a horrible movie. Don't get me wrong. But it was bad in a good way. So I didn't mind watching the crappy sequels. They got me hooked to see how bad it was going to get. Because the first one was bad good. It was B-movie bad. I think that the entire first 30 minutes of the movie is dumb, and it could have done much better without it. The slave narrative really didn't add that much to the story at all, and if it's going to factor in later, then I probably won't be there to see it. As for the rest of the movie, for me, it moved a bit slow. Was somewhat predictable, and while it built the team for future episodes, it did nothing to inspire me with their acting chops or the writing skills. After having a real blah time with Special Correspondents, this movie was a real letdown. And as we've said before, the order matters, and maybe that's why I'm giving this one a step below meh to a yawn. I couldn't get into this, man. I so wanted this to be a good one. I'm like, yes, so I can redeem it. Special Correspondents sucked, but fine. That's why I kind of left this one to last. I'm like, okay, let's end on a good note for once. Freaking crappy Kevin Sorbo.
All right, so I apologize. My bladder was ready to explode. What rating did you give?
Yawn. Yawn.
Let's go do yours, Mike.
Oh, it's going to be quick. Right off the bat. From the opening sequences, I feel that this movie is going to be nothing more than an asylum-level knockoff of Lord of the Rings. A couple of scenes in, I take it back. This movie is more like an asylum-level knockoff of Dungeons & Dragons. And to make a knockoff of a movie that bad is pathetic. It turned out to be a combination of the two of them. I agree that the whole Kevin Sorbo thing was extremely disturbing. Left me pissed off to the highest of pistivity.
Mm-hmm.
I found myself watching this movie just wondering what the heck they were actually trying to accomplish. And knowing that there are 8 more movies in this series. 8.
Mm-hmm.
Makes me very scared. Someone tagging. Just add them to the suggestion seat just to piss me off. This movie, I have no choice but to give it a meh, because it did absolutely nothing for me. Zero. No feelings about it whatsoever, except the fact that there's no way in hell I'm watching another 8 of these. I'll skip right to 9, maybe. Just to see, and I guarantee you I won't have missed much. But, yeah, no. Absolutely not. And there's no, don't, look, was this a book?
2,
Does anybody know?
3, 4. Well, would you like to know that Kevin Sorbo is credited in a total of 5 Mythica movies?
I don't give a rat's ass if he wrote and produced them out of his own pocket. Seriously, is this a book?
No.
I don't know. I don't think so.
No.
It wasn't based on a book.
Probably based off of Dungeons and Dragons. But just all right. Finish your review. I'll do mine.
Oh
no, I finished.
No, it gets worse.
That's you finished. Okay.
I don't know if Colin's going to say it, so I'll minimize it so that he can't see it.
Okay. Now, as far as I think there's 5.
No, there's more than that.
Anyway, the first 3 movies were actually shot all at the same time. So this is actually a 6-hour-long movie cut into 3 different things. That's why Kevin Sorbo only shows up for a little bit in the first one, because he sets them up, and then they go off and do their first adventure together, and then I guess he comes back later. And Kevin Sorbo was quoted as saying that it's a movie like Lord of the Rings where I play someone like Gandalf. So just like Gandalf, he shows up and then disappears and then shows back up again. Here's the thing. This is 100% pure Dungeons and Dragons. I mean, you got a cleric, you got the necromancer, you got the warrior, you got the thief. I mean, this is really someone sat around, had Kevin Sorbo play the DM, and they just did this little role playing thing, and that's how they wrote the script. I mean, this is a Kickstarted movie. Kickstarter paid for all of the special effects and editing for these movies.
That's why Kickstarter must be stopped, folks.
They got $94,294 off Kickstarter. Now, here's the thing. This is not a good movie. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I am not going to try to claim this is a good movie and everyone should go watch this tomorrow or tonight. But I will say, for this type of movie, this is more competently directed than a lot of those other terrible movies that we watch. The special effects were about as terrible as usual. I thought the costuming was okay. I don't think the plot had anything worth talking about. I I'll give it.
was okay. They just rated a Ren fair.
Exactly. As I said, there is no plot. There is no plot. So I am just going to stick this at math. I'm not going to. A lot of these I'll knock down. I'm going to leave this one at math because it wasn't horrible. I did not feel like hurting myself after watching it.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Line of the night, they rated a Ren fair. Oh. Well, I'll tell you, it says something when neither the director nor the production company has a Wikipedia page. So that was Mythica: A Quest for Heroes. Yeah, it's just, oh my God, it just makes me upset. Kevin Sorbo. All right.
Put it this way, I do not want to put the other movies in this series on our list of movies to watch.
No. See, I was so pumped. I was like, all right, I'm going to watch this first one, and it's going to get me hooked, and then I'm going to have to watch all the other ones. Nope. Not happening.
How the hell did this wind up? Wait a minute.
What?
How did this wind up on the list twice?
I don't know.
I sure as hell deleted the first one, and guess what? I'm looking at the candidates, and it's there again.
Oh.
Damn you, Shaggy.
I think there's only 5. There's only 5 mythicals.
Okay. So what do we got, Mike?
But they do have one called the
Well,
Christmas
wait, what
Dragon.
was the thing you...
What?
Go ahead.
Did he cover the thing that you were hiding from him?
Yes, he did. I didn't know if he realized it was a Kickstarted one.
Oh, yeah, I do that before I watched it.
Okay.
All right, so we've got 35.
35. Well, it's about time to start adding some more back into the list.
Yeah.
And we're going. Number 35 came up.
Oh, God, I just added this one today, too. So I know it's available.
Okay.
Guardians on Amazon. English dub.
What? Amazon English dub. Are you telling me this is originally in a different language?
Oh, listen. This is... I'm going to send you the link.
I got it. This looks horrendous. Oh, that's the link to the damn movie. What, do they not have a trailer?
This is the Russian Avengers, dude.
Okay, I didn't put this one on the list because I couldn't find an English dub. I couldn't find an English version of it.
I just added that to the list today because it popped up.
Guardians trailer English. Oh, here we go. Okay, I found it. Russian superheroes.
Game is on, cards are dealt, my darling.
I have 2 weeks to search all of the former Soviet Union for the superhumans that can stop a supervillain.
Exactly right. These people are our only hope.
What's the name of the mission?
Oh my God.
Guardians.
This is going to be horrible to watch, Mike.
Worries are very well.
Oh, look, he's an earthbender.
Cold inside.
We're all the same. Lair.
Oh, it's Smokey the Bear.
Khan. Arsis. You want to know who did this to you?
Oh, it's
Come with us.
Russian Star-Lord.
Rapid military attacks on Moscow continue.
Army turned out to be useless against the opposition forces.
Did they translate this to Chinese
first? Ended up with a complete shutdown of any machinery.
Okay, who's that guy supposed to be? Oh, a 3-minute trailer. No. All right, we're not watching a 3-minute trailer. I feel like I'll watch the whole movie. All right, Mike, that looks painful. So thanks for that.
Payback's a bitch, ain't it?
Okay, add to watch list. Okie dokie. Now let's hope that we get something just as. Let's hope we. 5. Number 5, Mike. Something redemptive, please.
Let's see if it's available. Me, thank you. Really? Number 5, you said? Again. Now that I'm logged into Netflix.
Oh, jeez.
It's still available. Oh! I've seen this movie. No Escape.
This
has got Owen Wilson and Pierce Brosnan.
American businessman Jack Dwyer, played by Owen Wilson, wife Annie, and their 2 young daughters arrive in Southeast Asia to begin a new life. As his company plans to improve the region's water quality, the family quickly learns they're in the middle of a political uprising. Armed rebels attack the hotel where they're staying, ordered to kill any foreigners that they encounter. Amid utter chaos, Jack must find a way to save himself and his loved ones from the violence erupting all around them. But this won't leave any time for any funny jokes for Owen Wilson. However will he act? Let's watch the trailer real quick. The family playing in their house, swimming in their pool, caught in the middle in a bikini.
We're gonna get through this, okay? We gotta get over to that roof. What? You're gonna jump first. Then I'm gonna throw the kids over one.
Oh, look at that, some parkour movement.
We don't have a choice. We're gonna die here.
Your family needs your strength, Jack.
Okay, so Pierce Brosnan is in this for about 10 minutes.
I'm scared. It's gonna be okay.
No! Okay. So, that looks a little bit more interesting. At least it's in English, originally in English.
And I do recall that Pierce Brosnan is in a lot more of this movie than
maybe it appears.
Anticipated.
Okay.
Yes.
We'll see. We'll see.
Look, at least Bird Box isn't on this list.
Oh God, have you seen the memes?
I've seen all the memes, and everybody I've spoken to that is not a celebrity that watched it hated it.
Yeah, it won't be on my watch list, nor will it be on our list.
And I don't want to delve into this too much, but let's just place bets here. Who thinks Kevin Hart's going to wind up hosting the Oscars after all?
Oh, I have no idea.
I think it'd be good if he did.
I don't know that will happen. Because weren't they going after Ellen?
No. What Ellen is under fire from the LGBTQ XYZ PDA community for supporting Kevin.
What? Huh? Oh, jeez. Boy, I can't keep it straight, man. I can't keep it straight. Oh, well. All right, folks.
Mythica forced me to drink Windex. That's how.
Okay. We want to say thank you for everybody that participates in our 2019 Celebrity Death Pool. We also want to say thank you for subscribing to the podcast, listening to us on YouTube, Facebook Live, as well as any of our other platforms, Stitcher, Podcast Addict, all those other fun places that you can tune into the podcast or the regular feed. Just to let you guys know, if you are running Android and you happen to need a podcast app, don't forget Podcast Addict is the one that we recommend, and evidently so do about 750 listeners or other subscribers. At least they've tried us out on that app. If you have iPhone, they've got a dedicated podcast app on there. Just add our stuff You can go to ptrradio.com for all the information on how to subscribe to the podcast feed. You get not only the regular show, but also any of the special things we do, like On the Road Again, or 8-Man Out and About, or if there's ever another Colin Solo show, that's where it'll be. All those other fun things. So we will be back in 2 weeks on the 21st of January is when we'll be back in front of all of you lovely listeners. Until then, don't forget to get in touch with the show on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or email us, show@ptrradio.com. We'd love to hear you. Or you can always text us, 217-787-0232. You can also call that number and leave a voicemail for us. So with that said, thanks again for listening, tuning in, and subscribing. Don't forget to get your friends to do the same thing. My name's Shaggy.
I'm Colin.
I am Mike the 8-Man.
Take a fork and forks. We are done. Later.